everyone, and welcome to the Planning a Perfect Promise Grant webinar. I am Jocelyn Moya. I'm the Programs Assistant in the Lodge Grants Office at the Elks National Foundation. Also in the office, we have Programs Associate Sarah Louderman and Senior Programs Associate Colleen Mutzinski. All right, so we're going to get started. Here are just some quick troubleshooting tips. If you can't hear me, turn up the volume. To ask a question, type it into the chat box on the right. If you get disconnected, click on the email link again and re-enter the meeting. If you're having any issues, please feel free to give us a call at 773-755-4730. And if you can't hear me or if I'm speaking too quickly, please let me know in the chat box on the side. Okay. And again, the chat box is on the right if you have any questions. Today's webinar will last approximately 30 minutes with additional time following for questions. To submit a question, just simply type it into the chat box on the right of the screen. Okay, let's get started. So in the 2015-16 grant year, the Elks National Foundation will allocate $9.77 million to fund the Community Investments Program. This includes an increase in Promise Grants and Gratitude Grant funding. Promise Grants are now worth $2,500. Every lodge in which more than 15% of its members donated to the ENF in 2014-15 will be eligible for a bonus of $500 when it applies for a 2015-16 Gratitude Grant. This means your lodge could receive a $2,500 Gratitude Grant. Also, happy birthday, SIP! Grab your party hats. The Community Investments Program, which launched in July 2005, and it's now July 2015, which makes it 10 years. We're celebrating our 10th birthday. The SIP has grown from 350,000 program to the Foundation's largest program. That's about a 2,600% increase. To commemorate the SIP's 10th birthday, we'll be celebrating all year with stories, reflections, features, and some fun giveaways. To follow the action all year, use and search for the hashtag SIPTurns10 on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. For those of you not familiar with hashtags, if you wish to post something that is relevant to the SIP's 10th birthday, include the hashtag so that anyone searching for posts about this birthday can see it. And on the other hand, if you want to see all the 10th birthday posts, type hashtag SIPTurns10 into the search bar on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram to view all the posts that include that hashtag. Also, we have a birthday webpage to commemorate. Just visit SIP's birthday page at www.elks.org/enf/community/SIPturns10.cfm. Kind of long, but it's right there. And then just a general overview of the Community Investments Program. We have Impact Grants, Gratitude Grants, Beacon Grants, Promise Grants, and Freedom Grants. Impact Grants can range from $2,500 to $10,000, and they should be Elks-led service projects in the community. All lodges are welcome to apply, but they are fairly competitive. If you have any questions about that, we do have a webinar on the Impact Grants that is available on our webinar section on the Community Investments Program page, so you can take a look at that. Gratitude Grants, they're worth $2,000 or $2,500 if you qualify for the bonus. Then there are the Beacon Grants, which are $2,000 and available to every lodge. This is an ongoing charitable Elks-driven community project. The project should be new to the first time the lodge applies. And then we have Promise Grants, which we're featuring today. Those are now worth $2,500, as I've said before, and I will say again. Those are available to the first 500 lodges that apply with an eligible Elks-led youth event. And then Freedom Grants. This year, the Elks National Foundation is helping out with those, and those are $2,000 grants awarded to 180 lodges whose projects are judged to serve the needs of veterans or active duty military members. Okay, our online applications. So the Promise Grant applications are available online right now. So you should hurry up and apply. Secretaries have automatic access to the applications through CLMS. Grant coordinators must be appointed and can access these online. I can show you that, how to access those. So you go to the elks.org/ENF website, click on ENF programs, Lodge grants, and then if you scroll down to the Promise Grant, and then this is the Promise Grant webpage, and then scroll all the way down to the bottom and click ENF Grants application page. I'm not logged in, but once you log in, this is what it looks like, and you just click on the Promise Grant and proceed to application. Also, a quick tip, new this year, we have click here to review prior applications from your lodge. This is a really great feature that we have now, and so you can see all of the applications that your lodge has applied for. Okay. And these are just some general Community Investments Program grant basics. The basic requirements for all Community Investment Program grants, they must be charitable in nature, geared towards helping those in need. They must be used to meet a local community need. They cannot be used for scholarships, hoop shoot contests, youth awards nights, poster essay contests, fundraisers, appreciation dinners, or general community events. Local generally means in your lodge's community. That looks different for every lodge, and we don't have a hard and fast rule on what that means, and we're pretty flexible depending on where you are. So good intentions are not enough. We must be practical and considerate and well-informed. Plan your grant project around what you hope to accomplish and what needs there are in your own community. What is charitable? These are guidelines as defined by the IRS. We didn't just make them up. They must relieve the poor, distressed, or underprivileged, advance education or science, but not through scholarships, lessen the burdens of government, lessen neighborhood tensions, eliminate prejudice and discrimination, and combat juvenile delinquency. The primary goal of ENF grants is to help people in need in the community. So those are the guidelines that we use. And as I stated, they are defined by the IRS and not just us. And here is where we start the most fun part. Let's get into the Promise Grants. So the basics. The $2,500 grants available to the first 500 lodges that apply with eligible youth activities. They must be used for elk-led youth activities. Applications became available on July 1st, 2015. There are only 500 available on a rolling basis. They're usually gone by the end of September, but if you apply within the month of July, you should be fine, and even in August. But if you apply sooner, that just gives us time to review them and get back to you if we have any questions. Okay, and here are some of the requirements for the Promise Grants. They must be used for an Elks-led youth event that meets one or more of these needs. Provides youth with safe places, promotes healthy living, offers support from caring adults, emphasizes the importance of education, encourages community service. In addition to the needs above, please keep the IRS guidelines in mind when planning your youth project. Whenever possible, your lodge should make an effort to reach out to youth in needs for these projects. These must be an activity, meaning that it requires Elks involvement. This is an opportunity for Elks to serve as role models for youth. There should be direct face-to-face interaction in these projects. Here are some other things to consider. Something that doesn't qualify is a scholarship presentation night. Instead, you could partner with youth to organize a service project. Drug awareness supplies, just distributing them does not qualify. Perhaps instead you can hold an after prom party at the lodge, or develop a youth league of sports to give the kids something else to do besides become interested in drugs and alcohol. Sports team sponsorships do not qualify, but you could start an intramural sports league for teens. Holiday party for children and grandchildren of Elks. That doesn't qualify. Perhaps instead you could throw a holiday party for foster children or youth in need. The dictionary project does not qualify, but you could use your gratitude grant for that if it's something that your lodge thinks is very important for your community. Instead, for a promise grant, you could hold a reading fair or youth book club. A donation to the Boys and Girls Club wouldn't qualify. However, if you organized and chaperoned a field trip for the Boys and Girls Club, that could work. Poster and essay contests don't qualify, but you could partner with students to hold quarterly art fairs. What's most important when considering promise grants is involvement. Involvement is key for these activities. So the promise grant application. Contact information is very important. Why two people? What if a person moves, changes positions, becomes ill, or gets too busy? This happens all the time. So we want to make sure that we have two people and make sure the email address is correct. This happens sometimes and people don't get emails. Also, be sure to check your spam folder. For some reason, a lot of our emails get sent there. So if you are expecting some reply from us, be sure to check there as well. Email is our primary method of contact, so be sure that all of that is correct. List the meeting date the grant was discussed. That's going to be on the application as well. Some questions. Describe your lodge's charitable activity and how it will serve local youth. What we're looking for is who are you helping? How? Focus solely on what this grant will cover. Second, why is this project needed in your community? How will the lodge make an effort to reach youth in need? We're just looking for why this project is more important than any other project that you could have chosen. How does the lodge intend to target these children? Community means people. We just want you to serve as many people as possible and in the most effective ways. Here's some more questions. Elks participation is required. Tell us how lodge members are actively involved in this activity and how many will be involved. If your project doesn't include involvement, we will follow up, ask why, and make suggestions. Number 4, what does the lodge expect to accomplish with this activity? How will the lodge measure its success? What's the lodge's end goal of this project? What does your lodge consider success? Why is this project worthy of your time and money? What community need are you addressing and how? If we don't feel these questions are answered to the fullest, we will follow up. This doesn't mean that we've rejected you. We just want to make sure we have a full understanding. So the budget section. This is pretty simple. We just want you to itemize your expected expenses. Be as specific as possible. If it isn't clear, feel free to explain it in the budget narrative section. I have a screenshot sample of what a budget could look like. This is just very basic. And then this new budget narrative section, which is really helpful if you need to further explain what these supplies will be used for. This section should not contain the word donation, nor may the funds be used for a donation. If the budget lists supplies, make sure that the application talks about what these supplies are and why are they in need. Budgets cannot list other or miscellaneous. If you don't know how much funds you'll need and what this project will cost, you're probably not ready to submit your application. Additionally, the total grant request can be $2,500, as seen here. The total cost of the event can be over that. This one is just $2,500 because that's what's entered here. You don't have to enter anything in the total cost of events section, and that's just because the dashboard will automatically calculate it for you. Now that we've gone over the application, here are some tips for quick approval. Tell us about your charitable focus. Tell us why it's charitable. It should stay focused on charity and service. Promotion of the lodge is great, but it's not the primary purpose of the grants. Focus on how this project will serve community members and meet a local need. For example, our county has the highest rate of drug use in the state. We would like to hold healthy living classes for at-risk youth that talk about drug awareness. Be sure to provide us as much information as possible. We don't know this, and we don't know what your county is like or your community is like. And if any way you could reach out to these different organizations or give us some statistics on your county or community, that's also great. All projects we must fund we fund must have a strong charitable focus. This legally prevents us from funding anything like lodge renovations or repairs, or providing loans to lodges for these sort of things. This also means that events geared towards elk family and friends, general events with no charitable focus, and projects geared only towards publicity and membership do not qualify for grants. And this is because we are a 501c3 charity. Details, details, details. Details are key. Give us details. Tell us enough so that we can explain the project to someone else. Instead of saying community youth project, say a book fair for youth in 1st through 3rd grade. Don't just mention the target audience. Tell us how you'll reach that group. Instead of just saying we'll invite at-risk youth, say we'll partner with social services, food pantries, local shelters, and the Boys and Girls Club to reach these at-risk youth. All projects and communities are different. We don't make assumptions. Tell us about the event. I've encountered this problem with a number of applications and had to send it back. And sometimes people get upset, but we're not, we just need more information. We're not trying to judge or assume anything. Guidelines. Local means your lodge community. Regional and state projects do not qualify. Elk involvement is required and should be highlighted throughout your lodge's application. The dates. Grants online right now must be used by July 31st, 2016. They are not intended to reimburse lodges for projects it already holds or has held prior to July 1st, 2015. The budget. The budget should show us that you have a plan for the funds and have considered how best to use them. Don't just write supplies, tell us what the supplies are. The budget should match up with the application and reflect that grant funds are needed to hold this event. Focus on fundamental expenses. If most of the budget is t-shirts and other promotional items, grant funds may not be needed to hold the event. Additionally, I skipped over that. As a general rule, no more than 10% of grant funds should be used for promotional items such as ads, photos, or t-shirts. And here are some common missteps. Not enough elk involvement. Elk involvement is required and is key for a promise grant. Donations and sponsorships do not qualify. Involvement should be integral to the project. Here's an example of not integral. Elks will donate to the Little League and attend their games. Some elk children are team members. That doesn't work because the elks are not important to this project. It's great that you'll go and cheer some on. It's great that some of the children are elk family, but this should be a different project that you focus on community needs. We want something that couldn't happen without the Elks. For example, lodge members will hold field days for underprivileged kids once a month. Another example, the lodge would like to donate $2,500 to a police camp for at-risk kids. Some of the police who run the camp are Elks. This scenario does not qualify because the police are running the camp as police and happen to also be Elks. Another example, we will donate books to the school. Many Elks are teachers and many Elk children attend the school. This doesn't work for the same reasons. This must be an Elks-run project and the community must identify it as such. Another common misstep, projects do not focus on youth in need. Projects should focus on community needs and may not benefit only Elks and their families. Youth events should have a charitable focus with the lodge making a special effort to reach out to youth in need. Example, the lodge will hold a back-to-school party for kids with disabilities. Another example, the lodge will hold a Christmas party for foster children in the community. Please keep in mind that general community events do not qualify. A good question to consider is, how will my lodge ensure those youth who will most benefit from an event will be there? Application details. Be clear about your lodge's intentions and its plans. We receive many applications that seem great but lack details. When writing your application, be sure to fully explain the event so that anyone reading the application will know exactly what your lodge is doing and how. Research the budget before submitting the grant. Start planning out the budget so that you have an idea of what the project will actually cost. At the ENF, we work hard to be good stewards of our donors' money. Don't be surprised if the ENF follows up with additional questions. A follow-up email does not mean your lodge is rejected. We want to work together with you to make the project as successful as possible. Because there are only 500 promise grants, we want each grant to be the best it can be. Pictured on the side here is Eugene, Oregon. They use their promise grant to host a series event for the Candlelighters, which are a group of children with cancer. And here are some more examples of Elks in action. Brainerd, Minnesota Lodge 615 provides biweekly meals for youth attending a local program called The Shop, which trains youth in need in the operation of a commercial kitchen. All preparation takes place at the Brainerd Elks Lodge kitchen with youth meals served at the shop. Next, we have Port St. Lucie, Florida, Lodge 2658. They partnered with a Boy Scouts group to help maintain a local nonprofit camp. The camp offers a place for youth to explore nature and various ecosystems, as well as camping, hiking, and swimming, and other outdoor activities. And here, Rutherford, New Jersey, Lodge 547, they noticed a lack of sports programs for children with disabilities within their community. They decided to partner with a local organization to host soccer dogs. Elks handle registration, fielding, and equipment for all soccer dog events. All right, and then publicity and social media. Once your Promise Grant project is completed, spread the word. Here are some tips on how to do so. Before the event, spread the word. Use your lodge newsletter, its Facebook page, its Twitter account, the community bulletin board, or an email to recruit volunteers. A great option for volunteers are Elk Scholars. Invite them to help out. Legacy Scholars have a service requirement, so you should utilize that. Scholars should be seen as a great resource. They can double your volunteers. Take photos at the event and send them to us. You saw the pictures that were on the previous slides. They're great, and it's a great way to get your lodge featured. It's fantastic if your lodge has a good project, but it's much easier to present it to other people if we have pictures to show with it. Get feedback. Ask volunteers how they think it went. Talk to the people being served. Follow up with your project partners. Write down good quotes. Keep thank you letters. These are all great for publicity. After the event, use our news release generator to create a professional sounding news release. All of these resources can be found at our SIP Central page. SIP Central is full of a lot of great info, and we also have a lot of new videos that we've recently recorded that tell you more about our programs. They can be found there as well. Some important takeaways. We have awesome videos. Watch them. Scholars should be seen as a resource. Take pictures and videos and send them to us. We love seeing how projects are going, and it makes it much easier to feature your lodge. So that wraps up our Promise Grant webinar. If you need any more help, contact the Elks National Foundation. We'll help you turn your idea into a great project. You can reach us at 773-755-4730 or at lodgegrants@elks.org. All right, and I'll see if there are any questions on the side here. Okay, so I don't see any questions right now. There are some, but I will make sure I handle those later. And thanks for tuning in, and feel free to contact us.